Continuing its military buildup with another 12 F-35 fighter jets deploying from Utah across the Atlantic late Wednesday.
The U.S. Treasury Department announcing on Wednesday they will allow the resale of Venezuelan oil to Cuba's private sector. U.S. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum says this is the latest example of President Trump's policy of U.S. energy dominance, emphasizing it's the key to both peace and stability around the world. He says these sales will go toward helping the people of Cuba.
We want to make sure, and as Secretary Rubio said last night, that there's going to be some flow of energy to Cuba, to their private sector, not to the military, not to the government, but they need it for basic things like cooking fuels to avoid a humanitarian crisis.
The mayor of New York City has downplayed an incident involving police officers being assaulted, calling it just a snowball fight. But not everyone sees it that way.
The incident was caught on video, a video that Mayor Zohran Mamdani said he watched.
They and our entire city workforce deserve to be treated with respect. I think that there were two officers who were facing lacerations on their face. Look, I've seen the videos of this snowball fight. I think that it was a snowball fight.
Randy Sutton is a retired Las Vegas police lieutenant and founder of the Wounded Blue. Sutton told AFN that Mamdani can couch it any way he wants, but the reality is that these officers were assaulted, and that is a felony.
I watched the video, and I can tell you what I saw was so disturbing, because what you saw were police officers afraid to react in the manner to which they have been trained and what would have been appropriate, which is defending themselves, using force. They are afraid to use the proper amount of force now because of the political situation, because of Mamdani, who is without a shadow of a doubt an anti-law enforcement mayor. He has demonstrated his true colors, which are socialist red and cowardly yellow. And what he is doing to these police officers is placing their lives in danger, because he is not only allowing this behavior, he is encouraging it by his lack of support of the police.
I'm Chris Woodward.
More news online at afn.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
At Blue Mountain Christian University, undergraduate and graduate degrees can be completed fully online across a range of academic fields. From business and education to technology and healthcare, programs are designed for learners who want the flexibility of online study without coming to campus. Courses are offered in 8-week sessions. Learn more at bmc.edu. Move mountains at Blue Mountain Christian University.
We inform.
Religious freedom is about people of faith being able to live out their faith, live out their convictions, no matter where they are.
We equip.
Sacred honor is the courage to speak truth, to live out your free speech.
We also rejoice in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope.
This is At the Core on American Family Radio.
Welcome back to Core with Walker Wildmon and Rick Green. I'm Rick Green, America's Constitution Coach. Thanks for joining me today. Oh man, I'm excited about responding to the State of the Union. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. I mean, I know I say that a lot when it comes to Trump. So it never ceases to do something that is unique. I mean, I know Solomon said there's nothing new under the sun, but I'm starting to think Donald Trump has a way of making it at least look new under the sun. Through, I don't know, just being the greatest showman. I mean, he is the P.T. Barnum of our generation and maybe the last 100 years. Most people don't know that Barnum was actually a politician as well. Served as a legislator. He was part of ending slavery in America. He actually was a part of getting the 13th Amendment passed in his state. I'm trying to remember where he was, Connecticut, somewhere. Anyway, wherever he was. But he was a legislator, but he was a showman, man. He knew how to move an audience. He knew how to move public opinion. Barnum went broke several times, like most entrepreneurs. I've been there, done that, raising my hand, even though you can't see me on video right now, which I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong here. I will get that fixed in a minute for those of you that like to watch online. But the guy goes, one of the times he went broke, he actually goes on a tour, a public speaking tour, with the temperance movement. So he was a teetotaler as well. Like, did you know that about P.T. Barnum? Anyway, bottom line is Trump is the P.T. Barnum of today. And most people, when they hear me say that, they think I'm saying he's a circus or that he's, just a sleight of hand guy. Not at all. No, Barnum was, as I said, a politician, a statesman, a patriot, a person that had deep convictions about the country and knew how to move the masses, not only to entertain the masses, but then to move the masses to get good things done. And that's Trump, man. I'm telling you, that was a masterful display Tuesday night of how to not only make your case for what you're for, but to frame the opposition. So he framed the debate masterfully on so many issues. I mean, it's, like Britt Hume said afterwards, these State of the Unions are typically a laundry list and can be boring, as a president just goes down the list of all the things they want to get done. And there was some of that, I guess, if you just step back and put it on paper. But the way he did it and framing, the border issue, the illegal immigration, the deportation issue, the transgender issue, the healthcare issue. I mean, you go down the list, he was masterful. And not only was he able to, after just 1 year in office for this term, be able to, I start to say brag. Yes, with Trump, it's bragging, okay? Lay out the victories. I mean, he was literally able to say, we're winning, and we're not tired of winning yet. And then show why and give the evidence. I mean, it's hard for the Democrats to deny that when you pull up at the gas station and you look at the numbers for what you're going to pay per gallon at the pump, it's hard for them to deny it's way better right now than under Joe Biden. I've been driving a diesel for, 30 years, and I can remember paying a whole lot more than what I'm paying right now. I do remember paying less at one point, but years and years ago. But even seeing the diesel prices and thinking about what that means in the cost of goods, and as he kind of, some people think it was jokingly, but seriously said, the price of eggs and what eggs are actually costing. So anyway, I want to come back and key in on and get your thoughts. Phone number's 888-589-8840. 888-589-8840. What did you think of the State of the Union the other night? Get your thoughts specifically on him shaming the Democrats. This was unlike anything I've seen in American politics. I mean, it felt a little bit like, when you watch the UK Parliament, and they're all screaming at each other and booing and hissing and all of that. And we usually don't do that in Texas politics. But this was a Churchillian moment, I think. I think this was Winston Churchill would have done this, no doubt about it. I can't think of an American president. Now, granted, we don't have video of these guys like Lincoln or Teddy Roosevelt or some of the ones that might have been willing to do what he did. Lincoln, I guess, did some of that on the slavery issue, which was a pretty easy one to shame people over. But for Trump to just consistently point out the Democrats' unwillingness to bat an eye, smile, clap, or stand to some pretty blanket pro-America statements that it shouldn't matter what party you're in. I mean, I guarantee you, John F. Kennedy said some of the same exact things as the Democrat president as what Donald Trump said the other night. And if you go to Arlington Cemetery and you go to the Eternal Flame there where JFK is buried, and you read the speeches and the writings and the words of JFK that they've got chiseled in stone all around his gravesite there, it looks like a Donald Trump speech. I mean, it's a pro-America, MAGA, Make America Great Again, and he even had, Kennedy had that great line about let's see, how did he say it? This was in his inaugural address. Only a few generations, essentially, this is not going to be exactly, but only a few generations have the opportunity to defend freedom in the hour of maximum danger. That part's an exact quote. And he said, and this I think is exact, I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. That's the attitude and tone of Donald Trump Tuesday night. And then to say to the Democrats, who JFK would be embarrassed by, to say to the Democrats, how dare you? How dare you not even be willing to support the line American politicians, in this case Congress, their number one job, very clearly as defined by the Declaration of Independence, is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. And the Democrat Party basically said with their actions Tuesday night over and over and over again, no, they think the opposite. They think the priority is to protect illegal aliens over American citizens. How did we get here? How did a party get so hijacked by foreign nationals? How did a party get so hijacked by the cartels and the Chinese communists and all the others that apparently have control, the Somali pirates, that a party, a major party, a party that has been around? I mean, you could argue Andrew Jackson started it. You could argue Jefferson started it, but essentially it's been around almost from the beginning. And yes, it's been a terrible party in some generations. I mean, it was the party of racism and the party of slavery and all of those things. But it's had its moments, and it's certainly represented half the country at many times in our history. How did a party representing half of the country get to the point that its leaders in Washington would say that it's more important to protect illegal aliens, criminal illegal aliens, than to protect American citizens? It was a brilliant stroke of genius move. If you didn't watch the State of the Union, basically what Trump said was he was getting into this issue of immigration, and he said, I'm going to make a statement. And if you agree with the statement, stand up. And he said the highest priority, the number one priority of the Congress is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. That the priority should be your constituents, the people that can legally vote for you. Now, I get why Democrats wouldn't stand up for that. I get why they have decided to protect illegal aliens more than American citizens, because those are their votes now. Why do you think they're against voter ID? Why do you think the SAVE Act is choking to death right now? A very common sense, which Trump laid that out as well, basic idea that every American agreed on even 10 years ago, and that 82% of Democrats support. The basic idea that only legal citizens should vote, and when you go in to vote, you should have to prove who you are so that nobody else can steal your vote. That seems like a pretty good idea. That seems like a pretty simple, basic tenet of freedom and a necessary requirement for making sure that our constitutional republic actually works as a republic. And yet, they wouldn't stand for that either, or clap for that, or support that. A third of them couldn't even stand up for the hockey team. I mean, it's shocking. It's shocking. And Trump pointed that out. I mean, he literally, when they didn't stand, he stopped and literally looked at them and held his hands out, and then several times said, "Shame on you." I mean, when they couldn't even stand for saying that we're not going to allow the mutilation of children, they couldn't respond to that, so therefore they support the mutilation of children. He said they're crazy. He called them crazy to their face in Congress, in the State of the Union. So I'm curious if you think that was too far. If you were watching it, do you think it was it cringy? Was it over the top? Was it rude? Was it whatever? I mean, I'd love to hear if it just, I don't want to say rubbed you the wrong way, because that's not enough. I mean, did it make you feel sorry for the Democrats or whatever, or was it time? I asked the Patriot Academy students what we call our institute. It's our one-year students that are here for the whole year at the campus. Yesterday morning, I played them some of these clips, and I asked them what they thought. I asked them, for your generation, is this over the top? Is this too rude? Is this whatever? And their response was they deserved it, that they had it coming, that they asked for it. In other words, the deplorable, immoral behavior of the Democrats needs to be called out. That at some point you got to say, you people are nuts. And at some point you got to say to the American people, here's your choice. And that's what the whole State of the Union was. Here's your choice. There's two sides of the aisle here. And whoever you vote for in November is going to determine whether the people that stand up and cheer for the U.S. hockey team and chant USA because they're patriotic, they cheer for the idea that you should be able to choose your health insurance and get the check yourself and then go spend it instead of all the money going directly to the insurance companies and then they manipulate it, that you should be able to be safe from pedophiles and gang members and drug cartels, and that we should deport those people. The people that stood for those kind of things and cheered for those kind of things and therefore vote for those kind of things, either they're going to be in charge a year from now and we start getting those things, or the sourpusses on the other side of the aisle that sat there and never even cracked a smile and whimpered and whined and would not even stand for the Olympic gold medalist, that would not stand for patriots, that would sit there and say that they support illegal aliens more than they support American citizens, and that they believe the government's job is to protect illegal aliens, not American citizens. Those people are this close. I know you can't see me on camera right now, but I'm holding up the two fingers with the very, very, very small distance between them. They are this close to taking over again. This close to being back in charge of our government. Because if you've got the House, folks, you can grind to a halt everything the president wants to do, and you can force back open the borders. You can force back open a lot of the things that they did to nearly destroy the country in 4 years of Otto Penn presidency. So they are this close. And if they get it, it's going to be impeachment all over again. It's going to be open borders again. It's going to be, child mutilization. It's going to be, cheat in the elections all you want. You really want that? They are this close. And they showed us who they are Tuesday night. They made it very, very clear. They're not running from this. They're not like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was really good at talking the game and making it sound like he was a rational person and that he really just was for the country and was doing what it took to save the country. And then he would turn around and, undermine it with the things that he supported. These people aren't like that. They don't even have a desire to fake it. They are telling you they want to destroy the country. And they're telling you how they're going to do it. Goodness gracious. Okay, we got calls coming in. 888-589-8840 is the phone number. 888-589-8840. You are listening to At the Core with Walker Wildmon and Rick Green.
From whom the whole body, fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplieth. My name is Abraham Hamilton III, and this is the Hamilton Minute. It's not by chance that Jesus refers to his church as the body. Just as it is with our physical bodies, every member has a distinct role and function to fulfill. Unfortunately, in this era of celebrity Christianity, we've reduced the concept of ministry solely to what occurs in what is often little more than Sunday productions and performances. The key to thriving in God's kingdom is understanding that every member in the body of Christ is vital and is called to ministry.
Listen each weekday from 5 to 6 p.m. Central for the Hamilton Corner, or visit the podcast page at afr.net for more from Abraham Hamilton III, Public Policy Analyst for the American Family Association.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had a lot of credit card debt, and it stressed me out. But what I thought was a solution turned out to be a problem. I kept hearing ads about debt settlement that seemed too good to be true. And actually, it was. When I called, they told me to stop paying my bills. That didn't sound right to me at all, so I hung up. Later, I found out that debt settlement is bad, real bad. Then I learned that there is a right way to pay off your credit cards. It's called a debt management program from the great team at Trinity. Trinity had a plan. In the end, I paid off my bills, I saved thousands, and I even improved my credit score.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-788-1813.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember, Trinity debt management.
1-800-788-1813.
Many of you remember 1976 when we had the bicentennial. I know I do. Here in our country, our beloved America, as we celebrated 200 years. Well, now we're celebrating 250 years. We're going to go to some great places on our tours this year. In June and September, we're going to Washington, D.C. We're going to Williamsburg. It's going to be a wall-to-wall trip of American history and learning about our Christian heritage. We're also going to Boston this year. So for those of you who remember 1976, I know there are some of you who remember the year 1776. We want you to come along with us on this particular tour because you're going to be a special guest of ours. So if you want information on our tours, go to wildmongroup.com, WILDMON group.com, WILDMON group.com, and we hope to see you on one of our 2026 Spiritual Heritage Tours.
This is At the Core on American Family Radio with your host, Rick Green.
All right, we're back here on At the Core with Walker Wildmon and Rick Green. I'm Rick Green, America's Constitution Coach, and we have video up now. So if you're watching online or normally listen to the program online and prefer to see my face that is made for radio and see it anyway. Anyway, I do have a nice set. I want to tell you, if you're not watching At the Core when I'm with you on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I got this beautiful set. I got a little fireplace going on in the background. It's fake. It's not a real fire, but it has a heater. I can turn the heat on if I need to. Got my monument to the forefathers over my shoulder I'm looking at here. Got my poster of Charlie Kirk from the memorial saying, "Here I am, Lord, send me." And then my tavern, sign over the top. It looks like I've got my little, lanterns over my shoulders too. So it looks like I'm in an old, Revolutionary War tavern restaurant place where they had these, secret meetings and then sometimes very public meetings and fired people up to get out there and get involved. And so it's the place for the discussions of the revolutionary strategies and tactics necessary to save the nation. So here we are. Debriefing, I guess, on the State of the Union from the other night, and phones are ringing off the hook, so this is clearly a hot topic, so we'll stick with it. I was going to get into the disgusting, reprehensible, clearly evil, crazy Candace. She is, she has, I don't even know how to describe it. I haven't seen anything like it. I think Jeremy Boring's description is very good. She's like a nuclear power that could power, when used for good, can power a whole city. When used for bad, can destroy that city. And she is trying to destroy the movement. And this whole Bride of Charlie movie that she's making, I shouldn't even advertise for her, but somebody, you got to denounce this stuff. It's so bad, and so much conjecture and innuendo. It's what the left has always done. I mean, I'm facing all that with Patriot Academy here in my own backyard. They're trying to destroy us with these just ridiculous claims. And it's reprehensible. It's disgusting. So, pray for Erica, pray for the Turning Point team as they face a lot of this. And they're not perfect. Look, Erica's no angel. She's done silly things, goofy things when she's young, and that's the kind of stuff Candace is bringing up. I mean, it's just dumb. Dumb. It's like George Bush said night before the election in 2000. When I was young and stupid, I was young and stupid. Anyway, all right, we might get to that one, but phone's going crazy right now over Trump's speech, so let's get back to that one. Let's go. I think Phil was up first. So Phil in Texas. Of course Texas is going to be first. Phil, go for it, man. Hey, Phil, you still with me? All right, I might have lost Phil. Let's run over to Roger. We'll stay in Texas, though. We'll go to Roger in Texas. Roger, you're up, man. Okay, maybe I don't have something up loud enough here. Roger, you there? All right, guys, I'm not getting the audio from the callers, so let me go back to commentary for a few minutes. We'll see if we can get that ironed out. Y'all let me know if you can hear, and we can also move to Alan in Louisiana, or Susan in Virginia, or Jackie also in Texas. Michael, what's up with Texas calling? We got 5 Texas calls right now for every one other call, but we do have some other ones coming in. So anyway, I love it when Texas wins. Texas should win. I've been embarrassed that Texas has been losing on so many big issues. And that's why I love Ron DeSantis over in Florida. He's been winning on most of those issues, but I wish he had moved to Texas and help us win a little bit more here. But anyway, let me just go back to Bride of Charlie for a minute. I haven't I don't listen to Crazy Candace anymore. I can't stand it. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. She's got this whiny, sarcastic, if you don't agree with 100% of what I say, you're a moron. And maybe I do that sometimes. I apologize when I do it. Please call me out when I do it. I'm a fan of civil discourse, and I think people should be able to hear each other out. There is a time to say something is so absurd and ridiculous that you shame it. There's no doubt about that. Like I'm shaming her right now. But everything with her is, if you're not 100% with her, you are clearly an idiot. And I can't listen to her. So anyway, my wife has kind of been the barometer on this. She listens to her to keep an eye on how crazy she's getting and some of the things she's claiming, and then kind of briefs me on it. And then I watch on social media some of the responses, but I can't even watch the clips. And I'll tell you, my friend Mark Meckler, he just posted day before yesterday something that was a private conversation that he's been quiet about for years, and I reposted it and essentially confirmed that he shared it with me years ago. It's kind of like an assault victim type thing where, if you don't come forward for years, one of the things that investigators look for is whether or not you told anybody at the time it happened. Like, did you confide in anyone or get counseling from anyone, just because it helps back up your story, right? If it doesn't mean it didn't happen if you didn't do that, but it certainly helps make the case if you did. And in this case, Mark was sharing some of his conversations with Charlie. Charlie and Mark used to hunt together every year, and one of those times Charlie shared with him that he believed Candace had essentially gone to the dark side, that she had become evil, and that she was being an instrument for evil and starting to destroy the movement wherever she went. And that was why he was distancing himself from her. And, it was a private conversation, so Mark doesn't throw people under the bus and doesn't take that stuff public, and so he didn't say anything about it publicly. And essentially, here we are at this point where he felt like it was necessary, because Candace keeps saying that she and Charlie were super close to the end and that he was confiding in her all this stuff. And, apparently none of that was true. And if you listen, she did not even know who Rob McCoy was. So if you don't know who Rob McCoy is, you're not close to Charlie Kirk. In other words, if you're being, and you watch, and I was watching her clips back then. This was back in October, November. And she was being so sarcastic about Rob, she started blaming him for the assassination, and Mikey McCoy's Rob's son, who was Charlie's right-hand guy, with him everywhere he went. And anyway, if you didn't even know who Rob was, there's no way you were close to Charlie. If you then are sarcastic about Rob and basically mocking him for claiming that he was Charlie's pastor, you didn't know Charlie. You weren't still close to Charlie. So my guess is, based on that evidence, she probably hadn't talked to Charlie in maybe years, but certainly months, and certainly not in a serious way, maybe a random text or something. But anyway, all that to say, I think Mark's sharing what Charlie had shared with him, I think it was the time to do that and let people know that she's lying, that she's just flat out lying about so much of this stuff. And unfortunately, man, she's got, I don't know if you could say millions. I think she's got a lot of bots, but she's certainly got hundreds of thousands of people that are soaking it up, man. They're lapping up everything that she says. And it's just awful. It's awful. Can't stand it. All right, let's try going back to the phones again. Phil, let's try it again in Texas. See if I can hear you now, Phil. Go ahead. All right, it may be on my end, guys. I still can't hear. Okay. All right, we'll try calls a little bit later, maybe after the break. Let me come back to the State of the Union and some of the other things, because there was something that Trump proposed, and maybe he's proposed this and I just missed it. I apologize for not being on top of every little thing. But there was a comment that he kind of took a minute to even talk about it, where he talked about health insurance and health care, and which even right there, if we're going to talk about health care, it's not just health insurance. That's the Democrats' whole thing was everybody needs health insurance. No, they don't. I would argue that everybody needs health care. You need indigent care for those who can't afford to pay for their own care or get insurance or any of that kind of stuff. And that's why, the church has supported and built most of the hospitals in America, and built hospitals to take care of those who can't take care of themselves. That's ministry. That's part of, taking care of your community. But that's health care. we bought into this idea that everybody needs health insurance. And that was, nobody uses the word health care. They say health insurance. Why is health insurance absolutely necessary? So we created this new model where you don't have a relationship with your provider. You don't pay the bill to your doctor, so you don't care how much they charge. So if the doctor or the hospital or whoever is their relationship, financial relationship, is directly with the health insurance company, and then your relationship is with your congressman, because they're now making sure that you have the health insurance that now pays the doctor's bill, no matter what it is, you can see why costs go out of the world. The only way to get costs back down is you have to bring back competition, and you have to bring back the relationship directly between the consumer and the provider. So when I go in and get services, dental, doctor, all of that, I pay directly. So I have catastrophic care, but I also, in case something really bad happens, but for my regular annual kind of stuff and regular things, I pay cash. And I am not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination. I make diddly what I could be making if I just went and practiced law. I'm living on peanuts compared to what I could be making. All right? I drive a 2011 Dodge Ram pickup that's got 330,000 miles on it. And Kara and I have moved into a little bitty 900 square foot cottage on the Patriot Academy campus. So what I'm saying is, when I say I pay cash for my dental services, that's like $60, for a cleaning, or $100 if I had to get x-rays or whatever. And I pay a few $1,000s for a relationship where I can get care with my doctor when I need that. So it's way less than typical insurance is now. We used to pay, man, I remember when we first started paying for insurance, it was like, $300 or $400 a month for our whole family. And when we got off of the major health insurance policy, it was already up to nearly $2,000 a month for my family. Insane, man. Insane. That's like another job. And so we spend way less now doing, one of these, we do a health share, Christian Medishare thing, and Samaritans, and we do, then these direct relationships with providers. So anyway, where I was going with all that is, that's what Trump proposed the other night, which was really interesting to me. Basically, he said that we need it's like school choice and vouchers for health care. In other words, instead of what Obama did was he set up the insurance companies to get all these trillions of dollars from the government directly, and so they steal the money from you and me. They forcibly take the money from us, and then they give it to the insurance companies, and then the insurance companies give us subpar care. Socialism never, ever, ever works. Never, ever, ever. It's never worked. Socialism is bad, very, very bad. And so every country that's adopted this, the quality of health care has always gone down, like through the floor down. The reason America had the best health care in the world is because we didn't do this up until 2009. We had a mostly free market. We had way too much government involvement because of Medicare and Medicaid and some of these other things, but I digress. But Obamacare ruined all that. So that's why the costs have gone through the roof. People are waiting longer and longer to get care. It's been a mess. So what Trump is proposing is not the ultimate solution, which is to go back to a free market system. That's where we need to get. He's proposing to basically interrupt the socialism with some competition, so some free market, by putting the consumer in control of the dollars. You're still going to have the health insurance companies. You're still going to have government involved, but you're putting the decision-making in the hands of the person. You will decide where your health insurance dollars go so that you get the best health care dollar spend. You see the difference? So you're going to get to decide. You're going to get to take the government. It's not government money. It's our money. It's our tax dollars that have been stolen by the government, redirected to you and me in terms of of health insurance. But instead of it going directly to the health insurance company, it's going to come directly to you and me. And then we turn around and we spend that with the health insurance company that we choose to do business with. What does that do? It makes the health insurance companies compete. It makes their prices come down. It will create all kinds of options so that maybe you're a 21-year-old, super healthy, taking care of yourself, eating right, exercising, not experiencing much, or any sickness or disease, And therefore, you want a really small plan. You want one that's maybe only catastrophic, or maybe you don't want any at all, and that's okay. Most people at that age don't worry about getting health insurance. And so if that's you, fine. You get to do that. And maybe it's a health savings account. Maybe it's a voucher that goes into an account, and if you don't spend on health insurance, it grows and maybe can be directed towards later in life your care that gets more and more expensive. I mean, these are the kinds of solutions that are absolutely necessary to finally overhaul this system. And I'm a big fan of this. I think this could be huge. If we don't do this, we will bankrupt the country. I mean, Obamacare will bankrupt the country. We're headed there. And so I didn't know this was coming. Maybe you did. Maybe he's talked about it. Maybe it's been, I don't know, maybe all over the news. But I missed it completely, and it was almost like not a throwaway line, but he didn't spend a lot of time on it. And I thought, wow, that's revolutionary, what he's talking about doing. Same thing that's revolutionary about interjecting school choice into the education trillions of dollars. We created a monopoly with the public schools and started giving them unlimited money. It didn't make education better. It made it worse, created all these fiefdoms, destroyed education, actually. And so the way to, again, come back from that cliff that we've been jumping off of and destroying education is to put the money in the hands of the consumer. In this case, it's the parents deciding where their kid's going to get educated, and that competition will create better products in terms of providers of education, and it'll bring the price down, and it will reduce the fraud and the corruption and the grift. Right now, these people, these education people, they don't care how much anything costs. I could spend the rest of the program in our final segment just telling you stories of good local country folk, in small towns that run these school boards, or the superintendents that get hired to come in, wasting so much money. I mean, paying ridiculous amounts of money for construction and buildings, but also services that they just don't question it. Why? Because it's not their money. It's your money. It's my money. So they have no interest. They have no incentive to get the price down. Well, healthcare has become the same thing. So fixing these things absolutely requires competition. You've got to interject the decision-making process at the local level, individual level. The more you empower the consumer, the more likely you will bring down the prices and make the product better. It happens every time. These are the principles of America. These are the principles of the Constitution and the Declaration, and they work every time they're tried. Hat tip Bob McEwen, who I got that from. That's the only problem with the principles of liberty. They only work every time they're tried. You get what I'm saying? All right, we'll be back in just a moment. You're listening to At the Core. The phone number 888-589-8840. I'm Rick Green. You're listening to At the Core with Walker Wildmon and Rick Green.
Thoughts of the child you were carrying keep pouring over in your mind. A deep, unrelenting sadness overshadows your days, and you wonder if you will ever feel whole again. There is hope and healing from a reproductive loss. Call the International Helpline, 866-482-LIFE, and talk with someone who has been where you are. Your call is confidential, and we will help you find healing. 866-482-LIFE.
As we watch world events unfold and fulfill Scripture, it's hard to believe anyone could doubt God and His Word are real, and yet there are so many who either question or completely refuse to believe it. The God Who Speaks is a 90-minute documentary that hits the doubt head-on with evidence that proves God is real and His Word is the ultimate authority. Watch it anytime and invite others to watch with you. Just visit stream.afa.net. That's stream.afa.net.
Without even seeing them show up, I could feel like the darkness.
Jamie Sanchez is another Christian business proprietor who has been targeted for his faith. His Drip Cafe was opened to serve and help the homeless of downtown Denver.
We believe sex outside of marriage and homosexuality is a sin in God's eyes. And the enemy and his minions decided to use that as a platform.
Jesus told us persecution would come.
I would see them, just the rage and the hate. I pictured them doing that at the foot of the cross to Jesus. And I just remembered what he said Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. And so I had to position my heart that way.
The Jamie Sanchez story is one of the videos of the Impact series at stream.afa.net.
It's been a crazy, crazy ride.
See Jamie's story and much more at stream.afa.net.
While in the emergency room with my wife, as she was struggling with the COVID-19 virus herself, and I looked at her, I said, "Are you scared?" And she said, a little bit, but I've been through worse.
The Certainty of Mankind's History with Uncertainty, an article by Peter Rosenberger.
And then, as her fever was approaching almost 103, she started singing In Christ Alone. I place my trust and find my glory in the power of the cross. And that's how she has anchored herself in the certainty of Christ through her huge medical journey that has included 80 surgeries, both of her legs amputated, 100 doctors have treated her, 12 hospitals, and now the COVID-19 virus. And so when we live with those kinds of uncertainties, anchoring ourselves in Christ alone, that's the only place we can run to where there is certainty.
To read this article and more, visit afa.net/The Stand. This is At the Core on American Family Radio with your host, Rick Green.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us here on At the Core with Walker Wildmon and Rick Green. I'm Rick Green, America's Constitution coach, coming to you from Constitution City, Texas. That's right, Patriot Academy campus, just south of Fredericksburg, Texas, west of San Antonio. And everybody listening needs to come visit. I mean, where else do you want to study the Constitution than in Constitution City, Texas? Come on. Can I, what is it? Yeah, can I get an amen? All right, let's go to the phone. We're going to try again to go to the phones. We got two topics going, so I don't know, whatever y'all want to talk about. We got the State of the Union and then this whole idea of competition in healthcare and basically vouchers, getting the money in the hands of the consumer and what that does to the market. So Alan's up first. I think we're working now on the calls from Louisiana. Let's go, Alan. What you got, man?
Hey, how you doing today?
Great, man. Thanks for calling.
Oh man, pleasure. Thank God for you. On the State of the Union address, I think the Democrats are they've been turned over to a reprobate mind.
Yeah.
They, when he said that they were crazy, I mean, think about it. You're talking about one nation under God. You're talking about the states being united, and all we see is division. Come on now, the word says united. And here you got this group, but again, they were exposed. So I just hope enough people saw it to see them naked, because they were naked.
Man, I couldn't agree more. In fact, I was looking up Romans 1 as you said that because it just feels like that's where we are. He says, for although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God nor gave him thanks. And we knew God in this country, right? The Democrat Party knew God. There used to be an acknowledgement of God in all of our politics in America. And it says they neither glorified him as God nor gave thanks to him, but their thinking became futile and their foolish hearts were darkened. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images made to look like a mortal human being and birds and animals and reptiles. Therefore, God gave them over to the sinful desires of their hearts, to sexual impurity, for the degrading of their bodies with one another. They exchanged the truth about God for a lie and worshiped and served created things rather than the Creator, who is forever praised. Amen. I mean, just think about the whole environmental movement, worshiping the creation instead of the Creator. Let me get this last part in. Because of this, God gave them over to shameless lust, the reprobate mind, depending on the version that you get, exactly what you just said. Even their women exchanged natural sexual relations for unnatural ones. In the same way, the men also abandoned natural relations with women and were inflamed with lust for one another. Men committed shameful acts with other men and received in themselves the due penalty for their error. I'll close with this. This is where we are. Furthermore, just as they did not think it worthwhile to retain the knowledge of God, God gave them over to a depraved mind, or as you said, reprobate mind, so that they do what ought not to be done. They have become filled with every kind of wickedness, evil, greed, and depravity. They are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, and malice. They are gossips, slanderers, God-haters, insolent, arrogant, and boastful. They invent ways of doing evil. I mean, that's what I would call the transgender agenda and chopping off, literally mutilating children. I mean, they invent ways of doing evil. They disobey their parents. They have no understanding, no fidelity, no love, no mercy, although they know God's righteous decree that those who do such things deserve death. They not only continue to do those things, but also approve of those who practice them. Bro, you got it right, exactly right, Alan. Thanks for calling in. I was thinking about that verse a few days ago, and so when you said that, it just reminded me of that. All right, let's go back to Texas. I think we'll try. How about Roger in Texas? Roger, let's see if we can hear you, man. Go ahead. Roger, not Rogers, Arkansas, but Roger from Texas. Nope, can't hear you. All right, I'm going to go to Susan in Virginia. Let's see if the Virginia lines are open. Susan? I tell you what, Bobby, let's try it with you opening one up and just tell me who you're opening. It might just be me on my call screener. And if you get somebody and you can hear them, let me know. All right, so back to the State of the Union and President Trump shaming the Democrats. I will say his close, his last, I don't know, maybe 3 minutes of his speech, might have been 4 minutes, was phenomenal. Now, I say that somewhat biased because some of the lines he used in those final few minutes were straight out of my speeches. I'm not saying he got them from me, though I do have some of my graduates in the White House at the highest levels. Maybe, I don't know. No, I don't think he got them from me. They're just really, really good lines, and I'm sure I got them from somebody, probably David Barton or Bill Federer or Charles Jarvis or Tim Wildmon or somebody like that. And President Trump probably did the same thing. Anyway, it was a great close to the speech. Really called us to making the 250th the best that we possibly can. So, all right, let's try Jackie. Hey, Jackie in Texas, you there?
Hey, Rick.
Go for it.
Thank you for everything that you say and do and bringing God's word into our everyday lives. It's wonderful
welcome.
Every time I listen to you. I've been studying Isaiah with a group of with the ladies doing the precept course, and we're in Isaiah 1-6, and woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who substitute darkness for light, light for darkness. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and who've rejected the law of the Lord, despised the Holy One of Israel. And you look at our nation, I looked at the State of the Union. I mean, Isaiah's given the State of the Union of his country, which is a mess. And then I look at the state of our union, and it's a mess.
Yep.
But I come home Tuesday night, and I turn on the president's speech, and I'm like, that's just what I needed to hear. I mean,
Amen.
He's not a perfect man, as everybody knows, but he was calling on God. He was calling on us to unite one nation under God. He was calling us to do the things that are right in God's eyes.
Yes.
And it was just, I listened to it, and then I had recorded it because I didn't know when I'd get home. And I went back and listened to it all again.
I did too. I noticed because when I played it for the kids at Patriot Academy the next morning, I realized, man, I missed that line, or I missed that line. I didn't catch it all. Hey, I got a shocker for you, Jackie. I'm not a perfect man either. I know that shocks you. I know the listeners are surprised by that. So
even Isaiah in chapter 6 said, "Well, with me, I'm a man."
Amen. Amen.
We got to see our own sin first. But he's been such a good leader.
Yeah.
You compare him to Biden, Obama, Clinton. I was working for OB-GYNs back in the 80s and early 90s when they started bringing in all the HMO PPOs. I worked for a group of really great pro-life doctors who loved the Lord and did not cheat the people, and they were, the customer service, the care that they gave their people, HMOs and PPOs came in, and it changed the whole practice. The doctors couldn't make decisions anymore. The insurance companies were telling them, you got to let patients go home when they weren't ready, when they had infections that they said, no, I just need one more day, and they'd say, nope. It was, they took it away, and now these new doctors are not getting trained. They're getting trained according to the insurances, and it's not good.
Oh, you're so right. Well, there you go. That's a firsthand experience. I'll tell you, Jackie, I hear it all the time. It whether it's pediatric care or emergency room care. Across the board, it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And that's what happens when government takes over an area that it shouldn't be involved in, and you take the decision-making. Every policy comes down to those two words, who decides. And when that patient cannot make the decision based on the advice of the doctor, or in that case, the doctor make the decision and recommend to the patient, you need to stay for and you give it to somebody that's sitting in an office 1,000 miles away. I mean, it just makes no sense. But it's where we are, and we've got to turn it around. So many good comments, Jackie, and I think what Jackie said about calling good evil and evil good, that is the best description for where we are, because they do. It's so strange. You watch them with a straight face make arguments. I mean, Gavin Newsom's a master at it. Jared Polis in Colorado. Even the Republican out there in Utah, Spencer Cox, I think is his name. These guys that are for the transgender stuff, they make this stuff sound like they're being righteous. I mean, it's insane. I mean, if you sit back and you have to listen carefully to what they're saying, because if you don't, you find yourself kind of nodding your head with them, going, well, yeah, that's, of course, you're being nice, you're being sweet, you're taking care of people, you're giving them what they need. That's how they frame it. And they're literally doing evil, but they're wrapping it in good, and they're making it sound good. And that's why I think that verse is more than just saying that a thing is good or evil. It's literally selling evil packaged in good. So you're taking this evil thing and you're marketing it as a good thing. And that has, man, just think about how much this whole thing with transgenderism and all the no genders don't matter and gender fluid, all this, they sold it to the American people and the world. They got other nations to adopt it as well. And it just took off. And now you have these crazy percentages of kids that think they are gender fluid or think that they are the opposite sex that they actually are. And it's that evil has absolutely been sold as good. And then, of course, they call good whenever you try to rescue a child, or you try to prevent the evil, and you try to prevent grooming, or you try to prevent any of these horribly evil things from happening. You're doing good to do that. You're rescuing people, and now you're called evil. They're doing that to my friend Victor Marks in Colorado, running for governor in Colorado. Fantastic, incredible. He and Eileen are just, I love them. Flawed, just like we were talking about. I'm not a perfect man. Well, Victor's not a perfect man either. But man, this guy he's rescued kids all over the world. He's provided all kinds of incredible ministry, and we've been beneficiaries of that at Patriot Academy. He's come and ministered to our kids here and helped us with rescue stuff. I mean, he's just a phenomenal guy. And you have these people in the Republican Party. These are supposed to be allies. And they are lying about him, and they are doing everything they can to destroy him. And they're literally calling the good that he has done evil. They're wrapping it in lies to call him evil. They're lying and saying he's a fraud, lying and saying this and that about him. And it's exactly what you just described, Jackie. Thank you for that call. That was so good. So many things we could talk about there. Okay, let's go back to the phones. Let's try. How about Arkansas? Let's go over to Arkansas. Elsie in Arkansas. If you can hear me, let's see if I can hear you.
Yes.
Elsie, I hear you. Yes.
Thank you for taking my call.
You betcha. Go for it.
I've been trying for about 30 minutes.
All right. Thank you for your patience.
What
part of Arkansas are you in? Before you ask your question or give your comment.
I'm just south of Little Rock.
Oh, okay. I'm from Mableville originally.
Really?
Yeah.
Rick Green, you're from Mableville?
That's right. Yeah, I got family all over Benton and Salem, and yeah.
I graduated from Mableville School. Yep.
You're kidding me.
I live about 3 miles from Baseline Road.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I graduated from Mableville.
Yeah, I lived out there off Chico.
Born in.
No kidding. I lived out there off Chico Road. Yep.
I'm about a half a mile from Chico Road.
How about that? Well, nice to meet you. We might have met when we were kids.
Probably so.
I'm sorry I interrupted you.
I'll be 85 Monday, so you're a lot younger than me.
Only a little bit, just a little bit. Well, you go ahead. Well, I interrupted you.
I watched the entire thing. I was really impressed with Trump's things, especially when he did the same thing he did last time. He brings out people like Charlie Kirk's wife. He brings out good things that have happened and how the government has helped them in different programs. And I don't remember any other president doing that. But as far as the Democrats, I got the impression right away that they weren't going to do anything that he asked them to do, stand up or anything. They made up their mind before they went there, I believe, that they weren't going to do anything he said, whether they believed it or not.
Yeah, you know, and it's such a shame that that's right, because they basically, no matter what he would say, no matter what he would be for, their Trump derangement syndrome keeps them from even supporting good things. I mean, like, I think they would be against puppies and Girl Scout cookies and, you know, all kinds of good things if Trump is the one saying that they're good. It's just awful. Elsie, thank you for calling in, and God bless you. And I wish Dixie Cafe was still around. I used to love Dixie Cafe right down the road there. But anyway, bless you. Go Hogs, go. That's so cool. Somebody called in from half a mile from where I say I grew up. We moved when I was 9. So I have to admit, I'm an American by birth and a Texan only by the grace of God. So I still love my Arkansas roots, though. And like I said, still have a lot of great family all over Arkansas. Love my family in Arkansas. Howdy to y'all if you're listening today. Let's try to get one more in. We got Jorge in Texas. Jorge, go ahead. We got to make it fast. Go for it.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have 24 years living here in the United States, right?
Yep.
And I have seen something about the law. And I was very confused, you know, and I can understand what happened when people, you know, on the Congress do not support, you know, what the country needs when the president say that people stand up and you support, you know, the nation. You support this nation first than illegal immigration. And then my point is this, when this happens, it's really, for me, it's incomprehensible how these people, what kind of agenda.
Yeah, I agree. Man, Jorge, I'm down to 20 seconds. I'm so sorry for cutting you off, but just a reminder that immigrants that come here, like Jorge, understand 24 years, he gets what's valuable about America. And the fact that we're letting that be destroyed, he values it even more than those of us that have been here our whole lives. So thank you, Jorge. Appreciate you calling in. Out of time. Thanks for listening. You've been listening to At the Core with Walker Wildmon and Rick Green.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.